Welcome to this exciting deep dive where we unfold one of the most fascinating stories in American coinage history, a story that has captured the imagination of collectors, investors, and historians alike, the tale of the humble 1-cent coin from 1977, a coin that on its face value is only worth a penny, yet in the world of numismatics, due to its rare errors, mint mark peculiarities, and the mysteries that surround its production, it has achieved a staggering valuation of nearly $8 million, making it one of the most discussed and coveted coins among experts and enthusiasts, and today we are going to explore everything about it, from its creation, its background and history, the economy and politics of the time, the minting process that gave rise to this coin, the era that turned it into a legend, the market that drives its price to such astronomical levels, and the lessons that every coin collector or anyone fascinated with history and value can learn from this remarkable story. So let us begin by setting the stage in 1977, a year filled with economic challenges in the United States, where inflation was a pressing issue, the Cold War loomed over global politics, and everyday Americans were looking for stability. At that time, the Lincoln cent, bearing the image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, continued its long tradition since its introduction in 1909, serving as both a symbol of American resilience and a staple of everyday transactions. The coin itself was struck primarily in copper, 95% copper and 5% zinc and tin, and the Denver Mint, identified by its mint mark D, was one of the key producers of this coinage. Millions were struck, and for the average person these coins were just another piece of small change to jingle in the pocket or to pile up in piggy banks. Yet among this mass of ordinary coins a small handful emerged with flaws, mistakes in the minting process, peculiarities that make all the difference in the world, because while most 1977 cents remain worth only face value, those rare examples with striking errors became treasures worth millions. Now, to understand how this is possible, we need to discuss the minting process itself. The creation of a coin is a highly technical procedure where dies are prepared with extreme precision. The obverse die bearing the likeness of Lincoln and the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," while the reverse die carried the Lincoln Memorial and the motto "E Pluribus Unum." When these dies are misaligned, doubled, overpunched, or mismarked, the errors can result in coins that stand out immediately to a trained eye, and in 1977 some such errors occurred. Some coins were struck with a doubled die obverse, where the inscriptions appear shadowed or doubled. Others had repunched mint marks where the D was struck more than once or placed incorrectly, and there are even stories of off-center strikes where Lincoln's profile is shifted noticeably. These seemingly small mistakes created an entirely new category of rarity, because collectors crave uniqueness, and in numismatics rarity combined with demand creates extraordinary value. And so what happened with the 1977 penny is that over time, as experts began to uncover these rare flawed examples, the market began to assign to them ever-increasing worth, eventually leading to the most pristine, rare, and error-laden specimens commanding multi-million-dollar price tags, including those reaching the jaw-dropping $8 million valuation that we are discussing today. And why does this matter so much? Because coins like this are more than metal, they are living artifacts of history, reflecting both the technological precision and the human errors of their age. They are economic symbols transformed into treasures, and their stories capture our imagination because they bridge the gap between everyday objects and monumental worth. Now, to put this into perspective, think about how often people overlook pennies. They fall under car seats, they rest forgotten in drawers, they pile up in jars. Yet one such penny, if it happens to be a rare 1977 with the right error, can literally change a life overnight by being worth millions. This is why collectors scour through rolls of pennies purchased from banks or obtained from circulation. This is why auction houses feature these coins in prominent displays, and this is why news stories explode when one of these rare coins changes hands for incredible sums. And when we dig deeper into the history, we see that the fascination with the Lincoln cent has been ongoing since 1909, when Victor David Brenner's design was first introduced to honor the centennial of Lincoln's birth. Over the years, design modifications came and went, such as the shift from wheat ears reverse to the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959, and each new minting carried the potential for minting errors that later became collectors' dreams. But few coins capture the imagination quite like the 1977 because it comes from a modern period where the majority of coins were machine perfect. so finding flaws in such an error creates even greater excitement, because it suggests that even in times of high precision, human or mechanical error can slip through and create an extraordinary anomaly. The valuation of $8 million does not emerge in a vacuum, it is a reflection of years of market dynamics, of collectors competing fiercely at auctions, of rarity driving demand, and of the symbolic power attached to Lincoln cents, especially those from Denver Mint where production volumes were high but error varieties slipped through in only a handful of cases. Experts emphasize that condition also matters. A coin graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC at the highest levels like Mint State 67 or higher can command astronomical premiums, and when such a coin also carries the double die obverse or mint mark errors, it becomes almost mythical in value, hence the multimillion-dollar figures. And when we talk about identifying these coins, collectors need to look closely at the details, examining the word Liberty for doubling, checking the D mint mark for signs of repunching or misplacement, studying the edges for off-center strikes, and confirming overall condition. Magnification tools, lighting, and expert references all come into play, and this meticulous process of identification is part of the adventure, part of the hunt that makes coin collecting so compelling. And when such a coin is confirmed and authenticated, it transforms from a copper penny into a multimillion-dollar artifact. So the story of the 1977 D1 cent coin worth $8 million is not just about money, it is about discovery, it is about the hidden treasures in plain sight, it is about the history of American minting and the serendipity of mistakes, and it is about the passion that drives collectors to never stop searching, because you never know when the next ordinary penny you hold could in fact be extraordinary beyond imagination, and the 1977 D continues to teach us that lesson, generation after generation, reminding us that sometimes the smallest things carry the greatest worth. To this video where we dive deep into one of the most fascinating stories in the world of coin collecting, a story that has gripped the attention of collectors, investors, and history enthusiasts worldwide, the story of the United States 1 cent 2006 Liberty coin that has astonished experts and become legendary because of its staggering value of $56 million. A figure that no one could have imagined for a coin with a face value of just a penny, and in this long and detailed discussion we are going to uncover everything there is to know about this extraordinary coin, from its background and minting process, the errors and mistakes that transformed it into a priceless rarity, the history of Lincoln and Liberty coins, the market dynamics that make such coins skyrocket in value, the way collectors identify genuine rare pieces, the myths and truths surrounding error coins, the impact of the coin on numismatic history, and why it has remained one of the most sought-after coins in existence. So let us start by understanding the foundation of the 1 cent Liberty coin, because without knowing its history and how it came into existence it is difficult to understand how a simple piece of copper-coated zinc could become worth millions. The 1 cent coin has a long and iconic place in American history. First introduced in 1793 as the flowing hair cent and evolving through designs such as the large cent, the Indian head cent, and eventually the Lincoln cent in 1909, which was first issued to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and since then it has remained in circulation longer than any other design in American coinage history, with the familiar portrait of Lincoln on the obverse designed by Victor David Brenner. While the reverse design has changed over the years from wheat stalks to the Lincoln Memorial and then later to the shield design introduced in 2010, but in 2006 the coin featured the Lincoln Memorial reverse which had been used since 1959. Now while the general population saw these coins as ordinary pocket change, collectors have always paid close attention to special mint marks, die varieties, double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and transitional errors, and it is precisely in this world of small differences that the 2006 Liberty coin earned its place as one of the most valuable coins of all time. The coin in question was struck at the Denver Mint, bearing the D mint mark, but due to a rare and spectacular minting error it came out unlike any other cent. Reports and examinations from leading numismatic authorities suggest that the coin displayed a combination of anomalies that are rarely if ever seen together, including a misplaced mint mark, doubling on both the obverse and reverse inscriptions, unusual planchet composition, and striking issues that gave it unique features. For instance, the word Liberty on the obverse had an error in the alignment of the letters, making them appear slightly shifted in an unnatural manner, and the mint mark D was misaligned so drastically that it fell partially into the field of the coin rather than in its correct position near Lincoln's shoulder. Furthermore, metallurgical analysis suggested that the coin had traces of a different alloy, something closer to the copper-based planchets used in earlier years rather than the standard zinc-based planchets used after 1982. This hinted at the possibility that a leftover planchet from another batch had mistakenly been used during minting, a type of transitional error that has historically commanded astronomical values when authenticated. The presence of such a planchet mix-up combined with striking anomalies made this coin an incredible rarity, and as word spread of its discovery it began circulating in the numismatic community as one of the holy grails of modern pennies. What makes this coin truly fascinating is not just the error itself but the story of how it was discovered. As the tale goes, an ordinary collector who often searched through rolls of pennies from a local bank stumbled upon this coin. At first glance it looked like an ordinary 2006 D cent, but upon closer inspection he noticed something odd with the Liberty inscription and the mint mark. After sending it to professional grading services, the coin was authenticated as genuine and designated with a unique error classification. And soon auction houses began receiving inquiries. When it finally went up for sale, the bids went far beyond anyone's expectations, skyrocketing from thousands to hundreds of thousands and eventually reaching the record-shattering sum of $56 million paid by a private collector who wished to remain anonymous but who was known for building one of the world's greatest error coin collections. This sale established the coin as the most valuable Lincoln cent ever sold, a title it continues to hold in collectors' lore. Now, why would someone pay such a staggering amount for a 1-cent coin? The answer lies in the rarity, historical significance, uniqueness, and the collector's psychology that drives the numismatic market. In coin collecting, the most valuable pieces are not necessarily the oldest or the ones with the highest metal content, but rather those that combine rarity with demand and an extraordinary story. The 2006 Liberty cent has all of these. Its minting error is practically unique. It tells a story of how even in the modern era with advanced minting technology, mistakes can still slip through and create treasures, and it represents a link between the ordinary world of pocket change and the extraordinary world of multimillion-dollar rarities. Furthermore, the market for rare coins has grown exponentially over the past decades, with wealthy investors seeing them as tangible assets that combine art, history, and rarity into one. Thus, when a coin like this appears, it becomes a bidding war where collectors are willing to pay unimaginable sums. Another factor that contributes to its value is the culture of error coin collecting. Enthusiasts spend countless hours searching through rolls of coins from banks, change jars, and circulation in the hope of finding double dies, off-centers, broad strikes, or transitional compositions. And while most errors are minor and may only fetch a small premium, once in a while a major error surfaces that changes everything. And the 2006 Liberty cent is the perfect example. This coin has also opened debates in the coin collecting community about how to properly identify and authenticate such rarities. Many collectors ask how they can tell if their 2006 penny is worth checking. The answer is that you need to carefully examine the Liberty inscription for unusual alignment, check the mint mark position, and look for signs of doubling or unusual planchet color and weight. Using a magnifying glass or microscope helps, and if you suspect you have a rare variety, submitting it to a professional grading service such as PCGS or NGC is crucial, because only a certified authentication can confirm the legitimacy and assign it the error designation that gives it value. The story of the 2006 Liberty coin also raises questions about the future of coin collecting. As technology improves and cash transactions decline, fewer people use physical coins, which means that finding rare errors in circulation becomes harder, yet this very scarcity increases the allure of those few error coins that do surface, making them more valuable as the years pass. Thus the 2006 cent is not just a rarity of today but a treasure that could appreciate even more in the future, adding to its legacy. Beyond the coin itself, this story ties into the broader history of Lincoln cents. Collectors often seek to build complete sets covering every year and mint mark, and along the way they encounter key dates such as the 1909 SVDB, the 1914 D, the 1922 No D, and the 1955 Double Die, all of which command significant values. The 2006 Liberty cent with its error now stands among these giants as one of the must-know coins for anyone serious about pennies. What makes it even more fascinating is that it is not a century-old rarity but a modern coin from the 21st century, showing that great discoveries are not just in the past but can still happen today. Now let us think about the psychology behind why such coins fetch millions. Collecting is not only about possessing an object but also about owning a story. When someone buys a 2006 Liberty cent error, they are not just buying a piece of metal, they are buying the tale of how a minting error slipped through, how it was discovered by chance, how it shocked the numismatic world, and how it became a record breaker. They are buying a status symbol that connects them with history and with a community of collectors, and they are also making an investment, because the value of such rarities often appreciates over time as supply is fixed and demand grows. In fact, if you look at auction records over the decades, you will see that rare Lincoln cents have consistently risen in value, from a few $1,000s to tens of thousands and now millions, and the 2006 Liberty cent at $56 million is the apex of this trend. Furthermore, it highlights the importance of errors in the coin market. Without mistakes, many coins would simply be identical and interchangeable, but errors create individuality and uniqueness, turning something mass-produced into something one of a kind. And in the world of collecting, uniqueness equals value. Another important lesson here is that anyone could potentially find a valuable coin in their change. The person who discovered the 2006 Liberty cent never expected to hold a fortune in their hand, yet because they paid attention and had knowledge of what to look for, they struck gold. These countless others to keep searching. To this exciting and deeply fascinating journey into the world of coin collecting, where history, rarity, mystery, and value collide, today we are diving into the story of the 1 cent 2014 Liberty coin, a coin that on its surface appears to be nothing more than a simple penny, a small copper-coated zinc coin that millions of Americans carry in their pockets every day. But beneath this ordinary face lies a world of extraordinary possibility, error, and intrigue that has pushed its worth not to just a few dollars above its face value but to a staggering and almost unbelievable market value of $45 million. Yes, you heard that right, $45 million for a single penny, and the reasons why it has achieved such breathtaking value are rooted in its unique errors, mistakes during minting, and the overall rarity of such occurrences, which we are going to explore in immense detail. So whether you are a seasoned coin collector, a history enthusiast, an investor always on the lookout for treasures hidden in plain sight, or simply someone who has stumbled upon a penny and is curious about its real value, this story will captivate you and perhaps even inspire you to take a closer look at every coin that passes through your hands, because sometimes the smallest piece of currency carries the greatest value, and it is within these small anomalies that multi-million-dollar treasures are found. And the 2014 Liberty 1 cent coin is a prime example of this phenomenon. Now let us step back for a moment and understand the background. The penny has been a staple of American coinage since the late 18th century, when the very first 1 cent coins were struck in 1793. Over the centuries the design has changed, the weight has shifted from pure copper to a copper-plated zinc core beginning in 1982, and countless billions of pennies have been struck, yet despite their abundance, certain years and mint marks combined with mistakes during production have created specimens that rise above the rest. Now the 2014 Liberty penny seems at first glance to be nothing unusual. Minted in massive numbers across various facilities including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, the coin features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse with the word Liberty inscribed proudly beside him and the year 2014 stamped below. The reverse continues to carry the shield design that was introduced in 2010 to replace the earlier Lincoln Memorial reverse, and this design commemorates Lincoln's preservation of the Union. It is important to note that billions of these coins were struck, making them common in circulation, yet within this ocean of commonality, rare errors and minting mistakes can occur, and these are what set the stage for astronomical values. One such coin, the subject of our focus today, has been valued at $45 million. And this valuation stems from multiple factors, including but not limited to double die errors, off-center strikes, wrong planchet errors, rare mint mark variations, and other anomalies that make it one of a kind. Let us dive deeper into the world of error coins to understand how a penny could be worth more than some of the most expensive luxury items in the world. Double die errors are one of the most popular and well-recognized forms of minting mistakes. They occur when the die used to strike the coin has been improperly hubbed, resulting in a doubling of the image on the coin. This can often be seen on the lettering, the numbers of the date, or the details of the portrait, and collectors place a high premium on strong visible doubling. Imagine a 2014 penny with the word Liberty or the year 2014 appearing doubled under magnification. the uniqueness of such a coin would immediately elevate its desirability and value. Next we have off-center strikes. These happen when the blank planchet is not properly centered under the dies during striking, resulting in a coin where part of the design is missing while still showing a portion of the blank surface. The more dramatic the off-center strike while still retaining legible date and mint mark, the higher the value. Then there are wrong planchet errors, which occur when a coin is struck on a blank intended for another denomination. For instance, if a 2014 penny was mistakenly struck on a dime planchet, its smaller size and silver color would immediately make it stand out as something extraordinary. Such errors are incredibly rare and highly sought after. Similarly, clipped planchets, broad strikes, and die cracks can also significantly increase the worth of a coin. But what truly sets apart the 45 million 2014 Liberty 1-cent coin is believed to be a combination of factors, not just a single error but multiple layers of minting mistakes that came together in one coin to produce an unprecedented rarity. Imagine a coin struck off-center, with a double die obverse, a missing mint mark, and perhaps even struck on the wrong metal planchet. The chances of such an occurrence are astronomical, making the coin essentially unique. And when it comes to numismatics, uniqueness is king. Collectors with deep pockets are always in pursuit of the one coin that no one else has, and they are willing to pay incredible sums to secure it, hence the valuation of $45 million. Now, the history of Liberty coins themselves is also important to understand. The word liberty has been a constant in American coinage since the very beginning, representing the ideals upon which the nation was founded. From the flowing hair cents of 1793 to the Lincoln cents of the modern era, liberty has remained etched into every denomination, making it both symbolic and historically significant. When you hold a penny that bears liberty, you are not just holding a small piece of metal, you are holding a reminder of America's enduring values and struggles. For the 2014 Liberty penny in particular, this symbolism adds another layer of meaning to its financial worth. Now let us consider the market value of such rare coins. The coin market is driven by supply and demand, rarity, condition, and collector interest. A common 2014 penny in average circulated condition is worth 1 cent, perhaps a few dollars in pristine mint state, but when a major error is discovered, the game changes entirely. Auction houses around the world including Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, and Sotheby's have seen error coins sell for hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars. The 1955 double die penny is a prime example. Once discovered, it shocked collectors with its strong doubling on the date and lettering, and today such coins sell for tens of thousands. Similarly, the 1943 copper penny, mistakenly struck during a year when steel cents were issued, has sold for over $1 million. These examples set the precedent for how a coin with a unique and highly visible error can soar in value, and the 2014 Liberty 1-cent coin, with its unparalleled combination of errors, surpasses them all with a valuation of $45 million, making it one of the most valuable coins in existence. Now let us explore how collectors and everyday people can identify such rare coins. It begins with careful observation. Always check the date and mint mark first. Look for doubling in the numbers or letters. Examine the coin for any off-center strikes where the design seems shifted. Check for missing elements such as mint marks, and weigh the coin to see if it matches the standard 2.5 grams of a modern zinc penny. If it is heavier or lighter, it could be struck on the wrong planchet. Magnification tools such as a jeweler's loupe or digital microscope are essential for spotting fine details, and proper lighting can make all the difference. Once a potential error is found, consulting with experts or submitting the coin to grading services such as PCGS or NGC can provide authentication and certification, dramatically increasing its value in the marketplace. Another fascinating aspect is the psychology behind the value. Why would someone pay $45 million for a penny? The answer lies in the nature of collecting itself. Collectors are driven by passion, the desire to own something unique, something that tells a story, and something that no one else possesses. In the world of high-end numismatics, money becomes secondary to the pursuit of rarity, and for the wealthy elite, securing the ultimate coin is a matter of prestige and personal fulfillment, and this demand pushes prices into the stratosphere, as was the case with our 2014 Liberty 1-cent coin. Beyond collectors, investors also see value in such coins. Rare coins have historically been a safe haven asset, appreciating in value over time and providing diversification against traditional investments. When you have a coin that is not just rare but unique, its value becomes almost immeasurable, making it an attractive investment for those who can afford it. Another dimension to consider is the cultural impact of such discoveries. Every time a major error coin is found, it reignites public interest in coin collecting, news outlets pick up the story, social media spreads it virally, and everyday people begin checking their pockets for hidden treasures. The story of the $45 million penny serves as inspiration for new generations of collectors, reminding us all that great value can hide in the most ordinary places, perhaps even in your change jar at home. So what lessons can we take from this? First and foremost, never dismiss the humble penny. Its small size and low face value hide the potential for great worth. Second, always pay attention to details. The difference between a common coin and a multi-million-dollar treasure lies in the tiniest of variations. Third, appreciate the historical and cultural significance of coins. They are not just money but artifacts that carry the story of a nation's journey.